Okay, here we go. Ready? Go.
Welcome to Horrors Yet Unseen, the podcast where we assign each other horror movies to watch and then talk about it so our spouses don't have to listen to us go on and on and on about scary stuff they don't like. I'm Zach.
And I'm Steve. Let's talk about some scary movies. By the way, there will absolutely be spoilers in this show. You have been warned.
What's going on, Steve?
Just sitting here watching myself make funny faces on the screen.
That's definitely, you're a special kind of guy. What is wrong with you?
Too bad we don't have a video podcast.
It's a real good thing. I never come prepared for a video podcast. And whenever we do or have had video podcasts in the past, I feel schlubby and I don't feel prepared and I don't feel groomed. And there's only so much you can do with a radio face, you know? No, there's only so much you can do.
That man has a face for radio. Ha ha.
Yes, yeah. Can you imagine an entire podcast like that? That'd be crazy.
No.
That's the tastiest crunch I've ever heard. Just a random Vlasic. Yeah. If I ever want to get into that voice, that's the way that I get into that voice. Is that phrase. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like how all the podcasts used to be, but back when podcasts was called radio,
right? Back
in like the 20s or something, like when the Hindenburg blew up, like the humanity.
I mean, I want to know how those guys really spoke. Did they really speak like that, and that was just a radio thing, or because I've never run into any older person who's ever been like, yeah, see, yeah, yeah, like I've never.
So I've heard, from what I hear, and I've heard that they kind of spoke at a bit of a kind of a nasal, because that carried better because of the way the microphones were at the time. Like higher notes were caught, lower notes were not caught. And like Noah and I were watching a video of the very first time the Blue Danube, I think it was Blue Danube. Anyway, it was a Gershwin tune. Anyway, first time it was played, and it was on stage, and they had a bass clarinet playing some stuff, and you couldn't hear it at all. Yeah, because the microphones at the time just couldn't pick it up. So that was really interesting. Anyway, but the accent, there's the North Atlantic accent, which is kind of like what they use in like all the 40s and 50s movies, 30s. And then there's like the, like the whippersnapper. Yeah. That's kind of like a jokey, from what I hear, is it's like a jokey, like Maine / Baltimore Northeastern accent. Now, have you've seen Guillermo del Toro's, I can't say Guillermo's, the Cabinet of Curiosities show?
I saw the first episode.
Dude. What the heck are you doing with your life, man?
I'm so sorry.
Watch those episodes. What the heck? Why am I even doing this podcast with you?
Dude. It's so much aggression. Stop. Steve recently took
amazingly. What?
Gosh, I was going to say, Steve recently took some testosterone. He took a shot of testosterone and he listened to a Joe Rogan podcast. And now
no, I
all
did
of
not.
a sudden,
Did not,
oh, wow. That's the worst rumor that someone can start about you, is that you listen to a Joe Rogan podcast.
Well, the thing is, if you listen to Joe Rogan, your testosterone is going to drop. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's just
not with the on-it supplements that you take.
What?
The supplements that Joe Rogan takes. Yeah, he sells these. Yeah.
Well, that's why he's bald.
I think that it's choice. I don't think he's really bald. I think it's fake news.
He's trying to look like a studly bald guy.
I'm bald. I'm really bald.
But you have more hair than he has. He shaves his head.
Yeah, that's my point. Is that we'll never know. We'll never know.
Don't get me started on Joe Rogan.
Okay, wow.
Wait, what was I talking about?
You were talking about newscaster voice, and then you were talking about Cabinet of Curiosities.
Right. So there's one of the so first of all,
publicly shaming me for
that's
not
a
watching.
really, really, really good series. It's like, and every one of those episodes is really good.
Okay,
and a few of them are like directly out of the Lovecraft stories, and there's one that it's like this rat catcher guy, and he's speaking in that accent, like the hey kind of type of thing, and apparently that's like that's when I looked it up when I was watching that, because I thought it was like just a thing that was jokey from like the Family Guy always does that kind of a jokey voice and stuff.
Yeah,
like, people really, and so I looked it up, and it's like a real thing at the time, but probably they were shamed into talking like a normal person. But anyway, what are we here for again?
I think we have a horror podcast.
Horror, okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, this could be whatever we want it to be.
Well, this is going to come out right after the Day of the Turkeys.
For real? Is this our Black Friday episode?
Oh yeah, Black Friday. Right, that's the day after. Forgot about that.
Yeah, so this is
Friday. Yep.
This is Chartreuse Saturday. Is that what that's called?
I believe that's what they call it. Yes,
Chartreuse Saturday
trades. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. Okay. Or is it? I think it's Small Business Saturday. It goes by many names.
Really? There's a thing. That's a thing.
Small Business Saturday.
I don't know.
Yeah, man. Capitalism.
Capitalism's everywhere.
Yeah, everybody be capping out here. Capitalism. I love that I said capitalism and you thought I said capitalism.
Capitalism?
Capitalism. Yep.
I thought it was just like your Ohio accent coming through.
Nope. 100%.
Don't say letters.
No. That's.
Does Ohio have an accent?
You're thinking of West Virginia.
Oh, right. Where they talk like, hey, how you doing there? See?
Well,
like that?
That's okay. Yeah. Wow. What the heck?
Jennifer Garner's from West Virginia.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, cool.
So
for her.
is the gal who played the what's her name? Jennifer. It's another Jennifer. Jennifer. What's her name? Played.
Good old Jennifer. What's her name?
Okay. Yeah, she's like all snarky all the time in interviews. She was in Mother.
Jennifer Lawrence?
Yes. Thank you.
Is from West Virginia?
Yes, she is.
And these random celebrity facts are brought to you by Blue Chew. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
no.
If I get one more freaking advertisement for Blue Chew, I'm gonna.
Well, that's the next thing I wanted to talk to you about. We have some sponsor deals, and that's one of them. I'm just kidding. It's not.
Blue Chew's the best.
Yeah. Yeah. You use promo code horrors at checkout to get no. I said capitalism because Timothy Chalamet was on Saturday Night Live, and he played this TikTok rapper.
Oh yes.
And he had a song called Capitalism. I think it was a song called Capitalism. And
that's a pretty deep cut there, bud.
I know.
I'm proud of you. Congrats.
Both of those sketches that he was in. One was with Pete Davidson,
mm-hmm.
and the other, I think it was just him by himself. And yeah, I love those sketches.
Those are good. I forgot the details about them,
but yeah, capitalism. Yeah. And that's what life is about. Life is about having inside jokes with yourself and no one else.
Is it?
Yeah. That's so you. It's just that's it. Like me saying that is a Buick commercial, but it's a ridiculous commercial. Anyway. Yeah, it's Small Business Saturday. Back to that. I think it's Small Business Saturday. So yeah, but technically this is our Thanksgiving episode, mainly because I forgot about it last time. And
oh well, happy Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving
Past.
to everyone. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the days of Thanksgiving passed. Right.
What you? Let's go to the news. What's up? What's the news? News?
Yeah. What's the news?
What's the news? See?
Oh my god.
Coming to you live.
This podcast is falling apart.
Colorado and Ohio, coming to you live with the Thanksgiving news with the horror podcast day.
Okay.
Stop. I'm sorry.
It's so ridiculous. Who is listening to this? No one is listening to two complete imbeciles ramble on and on.
Here's what's going to happen. We're going to have like 300 episodes of this podcast someday, and then we're going to die. Not that I have any, special information about my future, but that's when we're going to die, when we hit 300 episodes.
Wow.
And about a year after we die, people
tune
are gonna,
in, everyone.
Discover our podcast, and they're going to be like, this is like the pool of like genius itself. And there will be it's like Van Gogh when he died. Before he died, he wasn't that, like, he hardly sold any paintings. He wasn't really well known. But after he kicked the bucket, suddenly everybody's like, whoa, his stuff's awesome. We're the Van Goghs of podcasting.
Wow. I mean, you heard it here first, folks.
Mm-hmm.
We are the Van Goghs of podcasting.
Right.
I mean, I was unaware of this. I didn't know that we needed to die in order to. But I mean, that's super sad.
Don't die until you've truly lived.
I'm not on board with it, is what I'm saying. I'm not on board with needing to die in order to have life have meaning.
It's not that you have to die to have life have meaning, but it happens. But cool.
Okay.
So go ahead.
News.
Yeah, news.
News.
All the news is news.
I wanted to talk about Thanksgiving's over, but every year I like to at least watch one or two Thanksgiving themed horror movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have a not top 10 list, but I have a list of Thanksgiving horror movies. And I think that it's on my, if I was a better podcast host, I've already pulled this up, but
on the Letterboxd, or
I think I have one on a Letterboxd, but it's private because don't look at it. I don't have one. Man, this is riveting stuff.
This is why we had to die first.
This is it. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. There's a movie called Thanksgiving. I still really want to see this movie.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I've not seen any of these movies. Again, Horrors Yet Unseen is the title of the podcast. So,
right.
I'm also talking about movies that I've not seen. It's called
Okay.
Thanksgiving. It's a completely ridiculous premise. I think it's about a killer turkey. And I mean, come on.
There's 3 of them.
No, there's not 3 of them. There are 2 of them. And that's the beauty of this movie, is that it literally skips number 2 and goes to number 3.
Huh.
There's Thanksgiving, and I think that then there's Thanksgiving 3.
There's a Thanksgiving the musical.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so dumb.
That's pretty dumb.
I think it's probably going to be on par with maybe Birdemic.
Yeah.
But I would like to watch.
It looks like a Skeksis from the what's the word? The crystal. Dark Crystal.
The Dark Crystal.
Looks like a Skeksis.
Then
sorry,
there's
a movie. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're perfectly fine. It's a ridiculous movie, and yes, I think it does jump from the first one to the third one. It's called Thanksgiving 3, and I mean, it's a really bold choice. Let me tell you, it's a really bold choice to jump from the first one to the third one and have no There's no record of a second one, and I think it just takes some real directorial cojones to completely bypass number two.
Well,
I think there's another movie like the 5th of October,
hmm?
but it's like the 5th of October part 5 or something like that.
Wow.
Again, if I was a
Homicidal
better
turkey
podcast,
axes off college kids during axes off. That's a word or phrase.
it is now.
Wow, that sounds like a euphemism. Gobble
Right.
gobble, mother. Wow.
Yeah. October. There's
This looks like high quality entertainment. Oh, it's only 66 minutes long.
yeah. Maybe it's not called the 5th of October. Maybe it's called something else. But it's part 5. It's like this completely ridiculous thing. I think it's on my watch list. But I don't know how to search on watch lists. Anyway, I'm wasting too much time.
What's your next Thanksgiving
But
movie?
I'm fully obsessed with finding this movie right now. It's called Home Sweet Home. Okay, it's a Thanksgiving horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Blood Rage, just the classic movie, Blood Rage.
I've not seen that.
Then we have Blood Freak, and I believe you and I had a conversation about this movie, Blood Freak. Did we not? Like, I have a vague memory of you and I, like you were recommended by somebody that you knew,
right,
to watch the movie Blood Freak. And is this the movie that's like overtly Christian? Is Blood Freak?
Oh, a biker comes upon a girl with a flat tire. Okay, this one, we tried to watch this one, you and I did. Remember
I
this?
think so.
It is so bad.
And it's just a lot of long shots of somebody standing on the highway.
Yeah, and yeah, it's supposed to be like teaching kids how to be moral. And like one girl like does this whole thing about Jesus and
yeah,
have you accepted Lord Jesus as your savior? And
right.
And they're like, no, pass me the cocaine, you know.
yeah.
But it's more like the weed is gonna get you.
Yeah, you did send me that picture just a while ago about not bringing marijuana to Thanksgiving. Like that PSA about not bringing marijuana to Thanksgiving. Like don't bring the joint. What the heck is that? We have to look it up because it's just funny to me, and I want to read it out loud to all of our listeners, all three of them. Who am I kidding? It's probably two, maybe. There's the cat butthole. Can't believe you still sent me that. The mug that has cat feet, and then also, you remember that? No.
I don't send you inappropriate things.
You don't remember this? I can't even. It's like a cat. It's a cat mug. Man, this is just a riveting episode here.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? Why is it not here? Anyway, oh my gosh, we're just wasting too much time. Okay, then there's the movie Thanksgiving. The
the
Eli Roth movie. I still need to watch it again, and I really want to hone in on the girl getting cut in half by the dumpster, because I think that might be the most implausible thing. It's just wild to me.
Yeah, because the rest of the movie is so plausible.
Listen, Steve, if you put a mom in a pizza oven, she will get crispy. She will get crispy. That's.
I don't want to talk about that.
Okay. Well, okay. then there's the movie Pilgrim. Okay. I've not seen this one either. I've seen Thanksgiving. I've not seen Pilgrim. I've heard
why
that
are Blood Freak? Why is Blood Rage? I mean, it's about Thanksgiving. How's that?
Blood Rage?
Yeah.
I think that these movies are somewhat set around Thanksgiving, and that's the only thing that I know.
Oh, okay.
It's so there's not a whole lot of like. It's like why Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
It's not.
Because it's set at Steve. Let's not jump to conclusions here. It's set at a Christmas party in California. And therefore, it's a Christmas movie. And anybody who says any different, you know where you can go. Then there's the movie Black Friday. I did see this one. This movie is awesome. I shouldn't say awesome. Awesome is too strong of a term. It's pretty decent. It's at least entertaining. I'll say that. This is getting worse.
It's getting better.
The longer I talk. It's getting worse. Okay. Then there's the movie Amityville Thanksgiving. And I genuinely want to watch this. Because I think it's, again, about a killer turkey.
What's it called? I missed the name.
Amityville Thanksgiving.
Okay.
That face that you just made of complete disappointment.
Next.
Then there's a movie that I think you would like. It's called Christy. It's not about your wife.
How's it spelled?
But with a Y, not an I.
And what, a CH or a K?
K.
K-R-I-S-T-Y?
K-R-I-S-T-Y, yes.
Yeah, it's not about my wife then.
Then there is Thanksgiving 3. Those are my top 10. I shouldn't say top 10. They're not in any particular order. They're just
okay. Those are 10 movies.
These are 10 movies that you could watch around Thanksgiving. So yeah, there you go. That segment took a billion years. So let's move on to the next segment. Oh, you're literally writing these down in the show notes. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve, you wrote down the most Googled horror movie in November.
Correct.
What is this all about?
I was just kind of poking around some of the horror news sites, and the most Googled horror movie is now on HBO Max. And can you guess what it is without clicking the link?
The most Googled horror movie in November.
As it stands now. I mean, it'll probably change in a few days, but
I don't know the answer to this question. Is it a recent movie?
I think
like
so.
A 2024 movie.
No. It's an A24 movie.
It's an A24 movie. It's a horror movie and it's Googled in November. Bro, I don't
2017.
know. 2017. A24 horror movie.
I mean, I
have zero clue. Yeah.
It Comes at Night.
Dude, this movie is that movie. Oh god, ugh. That movie's a turd of a movie.
Oh, so Nothing Comes at Night, for one.
Yeah, nothing.
We've discussed this.
Yeah,
I watched it again though, and I did give it more stars than I did the first time.
Why?
It's been a while since I watched it again, but because I think my first initial reaction was like, Nothing Comes at Night. Come on, but that's not what the whole point is. That nothing comes at night. It's all about the dread that you feel when there's nothing there, but you think there might be something there. But and then like what these people end up doing to each other and stuff. It's interesting. It's very much a pandemic movie because they're all in lockdown. They're all like scared of the person that comes to the door. Like, are you sick? You know. And but it takes place in 2017, or it was filmed in. Sorry, it was released in 2017, way before our pandemic. But I thought it did a very good job of just capturing that horror that people have of like everything is scary, you know. And so they turn on each other and all that stuff. But anyway, it's not the best movie in the world, but and the article's like, we don't know why it's most Googled. I'm like, well, thank you so much for telling your AI bot to check the most Googled movie and having it read an article about it. But I thought it was interesting because, you know.
Yeah, this movie doesn't need to exist. It's a gigantic letdown to call your movie it comes at night and then realize nothing comes at night. And this movie is just simply about the paranoia of what might come at night.
That's what comes. Paranoia comes at night. That's what it is.
That's stupid. That's dumb, Steve. They
Well,
spent millions of dollars. Oh gosh, Steve, it's too much. They spent millions of dollars on this movie. Oh man, I need somebody. I need somebody.
If you want to look at it, watch it again.
I don't want to watch it again. I never want to watch this movie. I will say this. I would like somebody to explain it to me. Not you, because you just explained it to me. I would like somebody else to explain it to me.
Someone better than me? Is that what you're saying?
Help me. Yes, Steve. Yeah, I would like somebody more intelligent than you to explain this movie to me because I don't understand what's happening. That's it.
Oh, wow.
And it's not that I don't believe you. It's that I don't believe you. It's that
It's not about belief. It's just about opinion. And, you know, you can have a wrong opinion.
All belief is opinion. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
All belief is opinion.
Belief is a beautiful armor. Makes for heaviest sword.
Dude,
like punching underwater. You never know what you're fighting for.
Don't even get me started on that song, Steve. That genuinely is one of the best songs that's ever been written.
It's a good song.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my opinion that this movie is dumb, but I want to set up a table at a college campus somewhere with the sign that says "Change My Mind." Like that's what I want to do because I want to. It's an A24 movie, and I don't want to think that A24 movies are bad. That's the scariest face I've ever seen in my life. Please stop, please. Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
I'm just smiling.
No, you weren't just smiling, Steve. That was genuinely from the movie Smile. I never want to look at you again. I got to turn off your camera. Oh my gosh. No one could see that complete meltdown that I just had. Okay, moving on. You wrote down.
Moving on. Yes. So speaking of TV shows you haven't seen, have you seen From?
I've seen the first episode and I thought it was not great.
Okay.
It wasn't as riveting as I wanted it to be, and didn't captivate.
You're a hard man to please. I swear.
I'm so sorry. I'm very temperamental.
You're lost.
Yeah, everybody loves this series, though.
I love this series. It's so good.
Have we said what the series is yet?
Oh yeah, From, which is, I've got to say, it's the worst title because, like, imagine yourself Googling, where can I watch From?
Nobody, no producer, no director, no one thought of,
yeah. The
Googleability of
cast from
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you would just Google From TV series. That's where you would just go From TV series.
You could figure it out, but I mean, if you're making a TV series or a movie or a business or podcast, make the name something that's Googleable. This is like marketing 101, people.
Yeah.
And the people who run this show also did Lost, which is also really a bad name for a show. It's not very Googleable.
Yeah, right.
So, but it's very Lost-esque. It's like there's a definite like a unknown situation going on, and but anyway, and it has some of the people from Lost as well.
Okay,
but it's about this town that people drive into when they're lost, and they can be in any place in the USA, and be driving along, and suddenly they're in this town, and they can't get out.
Wait, for real? So it's not an actual town in a specific state. It is this paradox.
Yeah. So some people they have a map and they show they have a map where everybody was driving when they showed up at the town. And like every one of them comes, they're on an off road or something. So, pro tip, don't travel on off roads. And
interstate.
And for every one of the people, there's a tree that fell across the road, so they got to turn around. When they turn around, they end up in this town, and no matter what they do, they cannot drive out of this town. And so it just keeps collecting people. And there's a bunch of people there, and then there's these things that come out and kill them at night. It's good. Anyway, I'm just excited about this season 3. 3 is out now, I guess. But it's been renewed for season 4. And it's only on MGM Plus right now. the later seasons. I believe that the first season maybe is elsewhere, maybe Prime. I forget. Anyway, the last thing I want to mention is I thought this was just funny. Apparently, have you've seen the 2000 Bram Stoker's Dracula by
Is it the one with
Francis
Gary
Ford
Oldman?
Coppola? Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've seen this movie.
Gary Oldman plays Mr. Dracula.
Yes,
and it's probably my favorite vampire movie, but and it's like a little babyface Keanu Reeves. Anyway, in the movie, Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder, their characters get married, but they filmed it in L.A., I guess, in like this church or something, and they actually had a legit, like an actual priest do the wedding ceremony, and they realized afterwards that based on the laws of the area and the church or whatever, they actually got married.
No. Okay.
Like as far as the church is concerned anyway. I mean, they're not legally, they didn't like sign a marriage certificate and all that stuff, but
Right.
like it's kind of half jokey, right? But they apparently, to this day, 24 years later, Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves still text each other back and forth jokingly as as husband and wife.
That's amazing. That's
I
amazing.
thought that was funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to be in a movie that's coming out, like a rom-com coming out called Destination Wedding.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, doesn't it?
Anyway,
Are they playing a husband and wife couple in this movie?
Oh, they're playing two like cranky loner individuals who are both invited to a wedding, and they both realize when they're chatting at the wedding that they don't like the groom, they don't like the bride, they don't like the wedding, they don't like each other, they don't like themselves. And
Wow.
I guess they fall in love because it's a rom-com.
And also because they're already technically married.
Right. My guess is what happens is one of them is walking along and trips on something and falls, and the other one catches them, and they realize at that moment that the love has always been there.
You just described every rom-com.
I know.
Or every Hallmark movie forever.
I know.
Wow. Okay. Do yourself a favor. Don't watch Hallmark movies
Dude,
I'm talking to everyone. Let's boycott. Let's boycott Hallmark movies. Or Hallmark style movies, because they could just be on Hulu or Netflix. Netflix does these now, or these Hallmark style movies. Mm-hmm. Boycott.
They're all the same.
Boycott, 100%.
Do the ladies in your immediate vicinity enjoy the Hallmark movies?
I mean, there's only one lady.
I mean, in your family and stuff.
And exclusively. She exclusively likes these movies.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law really likes them. And when we go over there for Christmas in Oklahoma, that's all that's on the TV constantly in the background, just a constant Hallmark movie.
Listen, I mean, it could be worse. Other news stations could be on. News stations.
Okay, good point. Yeah.
Permanent fixtures in certain homes. Yeah. So it could be that way. So, I mean, if I have to choose, I would just unplug the TV. Okay? If I have to choose, silence is the choice. But, anyway, I don't know why I said that. I just thought rom-com Hallmark movie. That was the basis for that. So yeah. But anyway, happy Thanksgiving. So hope everybody is safe. Hope everybody didn't get trampled on Black Friday. Do all of your Black Friday shopping online.
Right.
And
Amazon Black Friday is all week, so
I mean, at the end, I think it's been all month. Really, Walmart Plus and Black Friday and Amazon Black Friday have been basically all month. And it just gets earlier and earlier. Yeah, it genuinely feels like that. It feels like it's creeping into October is where, you get the early Black Friday deals. So we stopped at Black Friday deals. And now it's early Black Friday deals. And it's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Welcome to capitalism. I mean, sorry, capitalism.
Capitalism, bro. Also, shout out Brad, who has to work at Amazon and has to pull all of our packages. Shout out to Brad
Good man,
and
Brad.
all of his coworkers. We appreciate you pulling all of those holiday dodos and whatever else you got to pull. He genuinely tells me stories, and so that's.
I heard that the toys of a intimate variety, let's say, are one of the most bought things.
Yeah.
on Amazon.
He genuinely tells me stories about how he pulls toys of the intimate kind, and it's always funny to me. I'm a 12-year-old child, apparently. Yeah,
I wouldn't want to walk into a store and buy one of those.
Yeah, just get it in an unmarked Amazon box.
Yeah, sure.
Wrap it up and put it under the tree for Uncle Brian. I don't know. It'd be funny to. I think it'd be really funny if. Come on, I think it'd be really funny if, as a practical joke, you bought those types of presents for people, and that was the only present that you bought for people this year was, or you bought one of those, or made one of those impossible presents where they got like a billion screws that you got to undo, and they're taped up like crazy.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen these?
Yeah. It took me a second. Yeah.
And I forget what they're called. They're called something specific, but I think you go through this whole process to get to the present, and I
think I have an idea what to send my CEO for Christmas now.
Wow. Okay. Just
what?
I have thoughts rolling around in my mind. Yeah,
should we move along?
We probably should. All right, okay. Let's get to our movies.
Okay. All righty.
And that last segment really fell off the rails now, didn't it? Okay. It's a work in progress, everyone. We launched in February. We're still working on it.
Do you want to breeze through what we watched last week?
If you'd like, yeah, we can definitely do that.
I mean, it's not season 2 yet, so nothing's changed.
I don't think that I really watched anything like crazy.
I didn't either.
I think that I really only watched my movie, and I think that might be it. I can't. Why can I not think of any other movie that I watched?
You watched Creep?
I watched Creep. Yes, I made it through the second. That movie is just. It's just
so good.
It's too good. I won't hear anything. I won't hear any guff about it. Like it's a perfect length, and the twists and turns are it's just geniusly written. I think I watched Creep. I watched The Witch. I watched The Witch again. Come on, that movie is also a friggin' banger.
Yeah, it's good.
I could not tell you what they said. It's in this old English kind of thing, and I have no clue what any of it means. I watched it with subtitles on. I still don't know.
Well,
all I know is that Black Phillip is bad.
Yeah.
I do very much like to live deliciously. I did not know this about myself until I started watching this movie and went, "Oh my gosh, that's so you!" And
so you.
I almost bought a beer or a cider last night called Black Phillip.
Really?
Yeah, there's this company called like Blake's Hard Cider. I think it's called Blake's Hard Cider, and they have a seasonal, I think, cider called Black Phillip, and I almost bought some. And it has a goat on the front of it.
I mean, that would literally be deliciously if it was good.
That might be the most delicious cider. Yeah, it comes with a book you got to sign. So
yeah,
I don't know if it's worth it, but anyway, I really honestly think that was all I really watched. I cannot imagine. I put on my list that I wanted to watch this movie called Cocaine Werewolf. I didn't get to that one. Yeah.
I I didn't watch any other. I watched Creep, and then sent you I texted you a little clip of Tubby Time just to make your day.
That's actually
And
what spurred me on to watch the movie Creep. Is
yeah,
that stupid Tubby Time video? Yeah,
and I don't know if I mentioned this before. I've mentioned the movie Reefer Madness, correct? Have I?
I feel like you did.
So Reefer Madness is like this 1936 like propaganda film, basically about the evils of marijuana.
You sent me the trailer. That's it.
Okay,
It has like Kristen Bell in it.
Yeah. So, well, the original movie, and then but when I say marijuana, they pronounce it that way, and it's written with an H in the movie.
Cool.
Anyway, it's a Reefer Madness it's like this, like I said, it's a propaganda thing to try to convince America that marijuana is a hard drug. It's a very powerful narcotic. They say in the movie.
Okay.
And it's like it's part PSA, part like a drama about these two kids who accidentally get into the weed and they just like go off the rails and start killing people and having sex with everything.
Oh my!
And how like it's going to destroy our children. So Reefer Madness, the musical, my wife and I saw it a couple weeks ago here in town. It was I haven't laughed that hard in a long time, dude. Such funny stuff. And so then I found out later that there was a Reefer Madness the movie musical, which is just the movie or musical as a movie, and Kristen Bell is in it and a lot of other folks. And it's just hilarious. And my favorite song in the whole movie / musical is "Listen to Jesus, Jimmy."
Okay.
It's so good. I'll send you like a link to the timestamp of it. It's so funny.
I may as well just watch it. Where can I watch Reefer Madness?
Reefer Madness the musical is on Prime and Tubi.
Fantastic.
So it's good. Yeah, pretty good stuff. The gal who plays Sydney, what's her name? Neve Campbell is in it.
Neve Campbell, yeah.
Yep.
Reefer Madness.
Lots of people, yeah.
The movie musical.
Mm-hmm.
So should I watch the original 1936 movie?
I mean, if you really want to, you can like kind of skip through it just to get a vibe of how much they're making fun of it. I mean, the musical is so over the top, like so goofy over the top. It's just making fun of anybody who says that weed is bad.
There's a Reefer Madness riff tracks version.
Oh, the original?
Reefer Madness in color is what it's called, and then Reefer Madness riff tracks version, which means those guys really did it. There's also Rolling Kansas, if you'd like to watch that.
I don't want to watch
Hansel and Gretel Get Baked.
Sounds good.
There's a movie called Ripped.
Are you just listing marijuana movies or?
Yep.
Okay.
There's
Ouija's.
Ouija's Halloween Night is what it's called. I mean, that'd be crazy to just get high and then also play with the Ouija board. That'd be wild. In another life, dude. In another freaking life, that would be.
Well, I mean, so Reefer Madness is not a horror movie at all, but
no, but
it's worth. You guys gotta watch it. It's really it's like a 3.6 on Letterboxd. It's really highly rated.
Wow.
2005 was when it came out.
Well, I need to. I just added it to my Prime list. So.
Yeah. And then I think that's about all. Oh, I watched also the movie, also not a scary one, Wildflower. Okay. I gave that sucker 5 stars.
Wildflowers 5 stars.
It's pretty new. It's a 2022 one. It has Kiernan Shipka as the main protagonista. Do you know who she is? She was in the movie. Well, she was in Longlegs. She was the gal who Olive or something. She was the girl who survived and was in the institution forever. And then it's like talking about how she just can't wait to see the ground come up to my face.
Is it Wildflowers? Is that
Wildflower of 2022?
Wildflower 2022?
The story of B. Johnson from birth to graduation as she navigates life with an intellectually disabled parents and an extended family who can't quite agree with on the best way to help. So it's a drama, but it's kind of funny too. But her parents are both mentally challenged people, mentally disabled, and she's like ridiculously smart. And she's, it's if you've seen Coda, the movie Coda, CODA, about the gal who is a hearing person, but her parents are both deaf. It's kind of similar vibes, but it's based on a true story. The writer and director of it is the uncle of this girl who's in the movie, being portrayed in the movie.
Got it.
So good, so heartwarming, just makes you cry in a good way.
Well, all right.
So once you've lost your soul to all the horror movies that we watch, get a little bit of it back.
Got it. I'm gonna go. We're gonna go watch Wicked tonight.
Oh, cool! I would love to do that.
Those are the theater tickets that we have. I also like seeing theater tickets because it sounds. Yeah, see, it sounds. Yeah, it sounds very uppity.
The theater. What's happened to the theater?
Exactly. Yeah,
especially where dancing is concerned.
I'm not gonna go see Gladiator 2, so I'm not gonna go to the Glicked or.
Why do we have to make up names like this?
I don't know. It's funny. It's funny that it's called Glicked, like because it's Wicked and Gladiator. But people go Glicked, and I'm like, it's Wicked. Wicked is the title, so Glicked. You gotta go Icked, Glicked. Like it's not Glicked.
How about Glacked?
Well, I don't want to get Glacked. I don't want to get Glicked or Glacked or Glicked, or I don't want to get any of that kind of stuff. And I'm mainly not going to see Gladiator 2 because I think it's basically going to be a shot-for-shot remake of Gladiator 1. Just 24 years later.
This got Denzel.
Well, I don't care.
Yeah, me neither.
It's not a saving grace for it to have Denzel. Like, that's not a saving grace because it's the same freaking director. And if I know anything about Ridley Scott is that he will let a movie be for a little while so that people forget about what it is and then just do it again, aka Alien. Come on, because it's the same. So, anyway, I'm gonna go see Wicked. I'm genuinely hoping that no one sings in the theater. That's gonna bother me, and I'm also hoping that I'm hoping for that the original cast just shows up. Okay, that's all I want. And I'm hoping
at the theater.
I mean, that'd be amazing if Kristen Chenoweth and Adele Dazeem just showed up at the theater. That'd be wild. No reaction for
That's
Adele
not gonna
Dazeem.
happen.
No reaction at all for Adele Dazeem. It's fine.
No. That's her name, right?
Her name is Adele Dazeem. It was Idina Menzel. And then it got legally changed that night to Adele Dazeem. Yeah.
Happens.
Yeah. So, yeah, those are the theater tickets that we got. We got to go see that. So we probably should start talking about movies.
Yeah, let's talk about movies. I believe you went first last time, so
yes, sir.
I shall proceed talking about the movie that I watched that you had assigned to me, sir. I watched the 2003 classic Identity.
Yes,
starring all the people,
everyone.
John Cusack, Ray Liotta, Amanda Peet, Alfred Molina, Jake Busey. That is his son, isn't it? Rebecca De Mornay, etc. I gave this movie 3.5 stars.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah, it's one of those complicated things because
Yeah.
The well, hold on. Let me first. Everybody else gives us about 63%, 7.3, whatever. So it's pretty universally considered a pretty decent movie.
Mm-hmm.
So spoiler alert. It's about a guy with dissociative identity disorder, otherwise known as split personality disorder, we used to call it.
Right.
And Zach, you have listened to this podcast for a while.
I have. Yes.
And you are aware that I have talked before about how my children are the wokest of the woke, perhaps?
I have heard this, yes. There's rumor flying all over town.
And I love them for it. And they're always teaching me things that I didn't know and ruining things that I love, to be honest.
Children.
And so
and ruining
I was digging this movie until it got to the point where it was clear that it was a guy with multiple personalities, whatever, like the movie Split. And my daughter has ruined movies for me, or media, whatever, that centers around the villain being the guy who has split personalities, or the gal, because that's what it's all about, and that's because it minimizes actual. It makes the mental illness evil and bad and dangerous and horrible. And in this movie, even the guy who's doing the killing, and doing the bad things with the multiple personalities he's the bad guy, and he has no choice about what he was doing. As far as you get the vibe that he was the kid who was left to see all this stuff and who was scarred like irrevocably or irreversibly, whatever, as a child. And now he's got this split personalities and he's killing people. And anyway, it just all comes. So every time I see like a movie or a show that is based upon that, like this one or Split, and there's a whole bunch of other ones. It seems like, now that I'm thinking about it. But so on one hand, I enjoy that trope a little bit, but I'm enjoying it less and less just because of the problematic nature of it. But also, I'm realizing how lazy it is in some ways. It's just so easy.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I'm going to add a twist. I know the guy has split personalities. And let's see, ha ha.
Yeah.
But I will say, this one is a bit different. I thought the way this was done. So if we back up 5 years before anybody cared, or back enough years before people cared about like being problematic about mental health, back in the day, and maybe possibly 2003 when this movie came out, the way that this handles that is really, really good. And the way that the whole thing like unravels and is told is really clever. And so while the split personality trope is overused and kind of just easy to throw in there and make it like, oh, it's a twist, that as easy as that is to do, they did something different with this one. So what they did different was that you don't have any clue at the beginning what's going on, or that they. So you go through most of the movie, I should say, before you realize what's going on,
right?
And so like there's this whole story playing out, and they show how all these people connect. So it starts out with like somebody dying on the road, and then like they stop and they back up a bit, and they show like the thing leading up to that person's death, and they back up to see what happened before that person, et cetera, et cetera. And it's really well done as far as that goes. And so I enjoyed the movie a lot. There's a bit of overacting here and there, but I thought, yeah, overall it was pretty well done. Because the aspect of the killer actually being kind of that boy that's in the hotel area, And I actually I noticed when I was watching the opening credits, they have all these like newspaper clippings and stuff that this guy's going through, and there's one of the newspaper clippings that says like orphan boy found in local hotel. I'm like, oh, so I'm going to look for that, you know. So I was kind of trying to piece some of this together a little bit as I was going. So I noted, and there was enough clues in that opening scene to tell you what was going on if you knew,
right?
And so, I kind of want to go back and just watch that opening credits again to see how much was given away if you know what to look for. But I liked how they were. I mean, it was a little bit ridiculous, like from a psychological standpoint, about him, quote unquote, killing off the other identities in his head through this like. They were kind of walking him through this. Walking the actual killer through the scenario and having him kill off the identities, and then they miss one, and they didn't realize they missed one, and so he becomes that woman, and she kills again, I guess, at the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was interesting, although ridiculous from, like I said, from a psychological perspective, but that's okay. It's a movie. I'm having fun with it.
Right.
So if the problematic nature of making fun of people with, or not making fun of, but vilifying, I should say, people with disabilities is not bothersome to you, then you can watch this movie and then you can go to hell.
Wow. Wow. So bad. That was amazing.
No,
I was with you all the way up to there. I was like, nope. No, I don't know where he's going with this.
I would recommend this movie if that doesn't bother you. Seriously, I would recommend this movie. So, yeah, 3.5 stars. Because I think a little bit too much overacting. Other than that, really well done.
All right, I'm glad you kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm not going to tell my daughter I watched it though, or I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's good that she's never going to find that out.
She's getting back at me for like ruining all the things of her childhood, like telling her that Mary Poppins was fake, and
Mary Poppins is fake though.
Well, I know, but she was like 4 at the time. I'm like, oh, Mary Poppins isn't real. She's like, what?
It's a freaking movie. You dumb 4-year-old.
Wow.
It's so dumb. Like I say that because it's
tell the difference.
That's what I'm saying. I say that because it's ridiculous to chastise a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old. They've only been alive for 4 years. Like, of course, they believe these things.
They literally cannot tell the difference between fantasy and reality.
And it's the fact that you're just like, oh, you stupid kid. Like, it's so over the top.
I was teaching a class at church one time, and I talked about how one of my kids was like drew me a picture or something, and I'm like, and it was, I said I couldn't tell what it was because kids are horrible artists,
right?
As a joke, yeah. Everybody looked at me like, what?
I know.
I'm like, bad joke.
Yeah, I'm just joking. It's not. You don't tell 4-year-olds that. I know that.
Yep. Every child is an artist until they are told that they're not.
And then we create little Adolfs, and that's fine.
Whoa, that got dark.
Listen, at the end of the day, a lot of people attribute the fact that he didn't get into art school as the reason why we have a thing.
Maybe if he was worked harder, or
wow, okay,
he could become. You too could become dictator.
Dude, are you victim blaming Adolf Hitler?
No, I'm Hitler blaming Hitler.
Wow. Okay. See what side of history you're on.
Yeah. Well, Hitler's not a victim.
I know. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. I'm just joking.
Too soon.
It's too soon. Okay. All right. Well, sometimes you don't know where the line is until you cross it.
Anyway, I like the movie. I will say,
all right, this might be one of the worst episodes we've ever recorded.
It rained like 90% of the time in the movie.
100%, yeah,
and maybe it was 100%, yeah. And I
just agreed with you, and I said 100%.
Well, it's 100% or 90%. Pick a number.
I'm so sorry. It's 90. It's 90%. I'm so sorry.
Anyway,
90%, Steve. 90%.
It rained for 90% of the movie because I had flashbacks, and the thing that bugged me the whole movie though. was there were like palm trees all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And it was a desert area because it was like it was supposed to take place in Nevada. They filmed that for who knows how long, with the rain constantly coming down. Are those trees okay? There's
No
always
one
the thing at the
cares
end of the
about
movie
the
that says
environment.
there's a thing at the end of the well, that's sad.
No one cares.
It depressed me, Zach.
Wow.
There's always a thing at the end of the movie that says
Mary
no
Poppins
animals.
isn't real, Steve.
Shut up. No, she is too. She lives in my heart. There's always a thing about like no animals are harmed in the making of this movie.
Right.
What about the trees that got overwatered?
Okay.
Did they leave that little hotel in the desert behind and like, thanks movie folks, everything's dead now. You know? You can overwater stuff, even palm trees. I mean, sure, there's a rainy season, but that's probably a 2 months worth of shooting where it's constant water down, come down. It's just like, nobody cares for the trees.
I have nothing.
It's like John Denver says, say a prayer for the wind and the water and the woods and those who live there too. That is on the best Christmas album ever. John Denver and the Muppets, A Christmas Together. I'm not going to take any argument about that.
I've never heard this album in my life.
It's the oh dude. It's on the song Alfie the Christmas Tree. If you believe in love, that is more. I'll stop. I had too much coffee. You want to
go? Yeah, Steve, I'd love to go. Okay. So Steve, I'm not too sure it was coffee, brother. I think it might have been laced with some, booger sugar. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. No judgment. No judgment.
Booger sugar.
No judgment. No judgment.
It sounds like what a lady from like Alabama would call cocaine. Booger sugar.
Okay. I have nothing. I have nothing to say to that.
That's best that way.
You made me watch this movie called Crimson Peak. That sounds too. It's
it was
too much of an accusation,
list, man.
I know. You forced me to watch this movie, and
under duress,
I did. And I'm here to tell you my thoughts, Steve.
That's why we're here, Zach.
So Crimson Peak.
Yeah. Podcast.
Right. Crimson Peak came out in 2015. It has currently a 72% Rotten Tomatoes score, but it only has a 56% Upturned Popcorn Bucket audience score. It has a 3.4 out of 5 on Letterboxd and a 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb. The Letterboxd synopsis says, in the aftermath of a family tragedy, an aspiring author is torn between love for her childhood friend and the temptation of a mysterious outsider. Trying to escape the ghosts of her past, she is swept away to a house that breathes, bleeds, and remembers. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I mentioned to you pre-recording that I wanted to do a spoiler-free review because we had talked about this in season 2. So I wanted to at least attempt to, what would this look like?
Right.
I want to write a spoiler-free review, and I want to write a spoiler-filled review. So that way we can do for everybody. So
all things to all people.
My spoiler-free review, just off the top of my head, basically goes like this. This movie was directed by Guillermo del Toro and is actually very visually stunning. this movie, that's one of the things that I genuinely appreciate about Guillermo's movies is that there is an attention to detail in the set pieces that I don't know if it's matched anywhere else. I mean, everybody has their attention to detail, like Chris Nolan has his attention to detail in a set piece, and it's different from Guillermo's. So, like, I don't know any director that does direct comparable to Guillermo. The same could be said for Pan's Labyrinth, and I'm sure you could vouch for Cabinet of Curiosities, and
Totally.
The attention to detail is really, really good. And the story is, this particular story feels very like 90-10. Like 90% love story / period piece, 10% horror. Like, it's a sprinkling of horror in it.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's not I wouldn't classify this movie as a horror movie.
It has elements, right?
It has elements of that are horrific. But like, Guillermo does, like, he puts the house, this Crimson Peak house, in a clay field, like a red clay field. And the house is sinking. So the walls are constantly bleeding this red clay. And under the snow, like, every footprint is red because of the red clay. And
really cool visuals.
It's very cool visuals. But it's blood reminiscent.
Right.
You know, it's just the redness of everything. It's the colors are very vivid, and so you set that against this bleak English countryside, right? And so you don't want to be too bleak. So all of those colors immediately pop, despite this like macabre kind of dreariness of this period piece. The movie follows a character, Edith Cushing, and so this is where she meets Loki, and his name is in the movie Sir Thomas Sharp, and Thomas has a sister. So I'm just naming facts about the movie at this point now. Like, this is the point. Is like, I told you pre-recording, I started to write this spoiler-free review of this movie, or this breakdown of this movie. And I realized, like, I'm just naming facts about this movie, because if you start getting into, like, what is classified as a spoiler and what isn't. So, spoilers ahead now. Is her dad dying a spoiler? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to know.
I don't know. Technically, it could be classified as a spoiler. Spoilers, there are some spoilers that are very obvious. Bruce Willis is dead the entire time. Okay? Spoiler for The Sixth Sense, right? But then there are some spoilers that get a little subjective. Her dad dies. he gets his face freaking smashed in in this brutal way. And yeah, pretty crazy. The cast is actually pretty stacked for this movie. And so yeah, this is where I kind of need your help to understand a little bit more about this movie. Okay.
Okay.
So I think the big twist at the end is that the quote unquote brother and sister, the Sharp siblings, are not really siblings. Are they married? Or because they're dead the whole time. Okay, they're Bruce Willis is what they are.
Okay.
They're technically dead the whole time. But are they? Because at one point they're kind of like getting intimate with each other, but they're siblings, or they're portrayed to be siblings, but then they are intimate with each other, and you're like, is this a Luke Leia situation, or is this are they really husband wife the whole time? I don't know if I just fell asleep during this part of the movie and have no memory of what happened. It's unclear to me.
It's unclear to me as well because it's been too long since I watched this.
Okay.
And sorry.
That's fine. So basically, like, there's a ring
2 years ago.
There's a ring that is at play, and whoever gets this ring that the siblings give out is marked to die. The house is going to kill them, or blah blah blah, whatever. The sister's going to kill them. Loki's going to kill them. I don't know. I'm not too sure how to interpret the ending of this movie is what I'm saying. That being said, I think that this movie is an incredible beginner horror movie. Like, if I pull up my because it's not necessarily
not super scary.
graphically horrific.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull up my beginner horror movie. So this is like I'm going to say that this is, so my list of beginner horror movies starts with Happy Death Day.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I would say Crimson Peak is technically taking over the number one spot at this point. Because Happy Death Day is more of a horror movie.
It's more comedy to me.
It's a different style, but it has more horror elements. Because she freaking dies like every other scene. Like,
yeah. True.
So anyway, I still think that this movie is worth watching. As far as our ratings are concerned, I think that this movie is a 3.5. It's definitely worth another watch. Not because I got a little confused watching it. Or just the way that the ending worked out, I am a little unsure about that. But so not taking that into consideration, I think that this movie is definitely worth another watch. 3.5 out of 5. It's definitely a good movie. The acting, I thought, it's pretty good for a beginner horror movie. I'm not going to speak necessarily to the acting because I don't know if it's good acting. The movie is entertaining.
It was pretty good acting.
I understand where the 56% audience score comes from because it is a period piece, and that's not necessarily for everybody. And there may be some acting things that kind of go into that, and some storytelling elements that go into that that are not necessarily great. But I thought the CG was fantastic. I thought the visuals were really great. Yeah, I enjoyed this movie, but I personally would need to go back and kind of rewatch the ending of the movie just to really answer some questions that I have. Um, but that's basically my review in a nutshell. I'm not too sure that this was definitely a good movie, I think, to try out the spoiler
Right.
free
It's hard.
review because I don't know necessarily how to fully talk about the movie um and without giving away certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Um you
Yeah,
know.
I gave it 4.5 stars 2 years ago. Like, funny enough, I just looked at the history. It said on November 22nd of 2022, I watched this movie.
Yeah.
So it's like almost exactly 2 years. Anyway, I I need to watch it again because I think I was kind of one of my like depression modes of like watching thousands of movies at once.
Yeah.
Um, uh, but I remember, yeah, I think you're right, completely right about it's good. It's a good beginner thing. It's not too scary. It's a good story, good acting. I mean, it's Guillermo del Toro. He does good stuff.
Yeah, it
So
makes me excited for because I've seen you've had me watch Pan's Labyrinth
hmm
and
which
I've
is
now
amazing.
I've now seen Crimson Peak. It
hmm
makes me excited for his Frankenstein. Like this movie makes me excited to watch his interpretation of Mary Shelley's
hmm
Frankenstein
Yep.
because I know that it's going to be visually striking. Like I want to go buy a ticket and go see it in the theater because I think that it's going to be um I think it's going to be worth
hmm
watching on a gigantic screen. Um
Definitely.
Yeah. So and
I
it does make me want to go back and to Netflix and rewatch or watch for the first time the Cabinet of Curiosities.
Those are good. They're really good.
Yeah.
Do you know that he directed all Pacific Rim?
What?
Yeah. I
No, I did not know this at
I
all.
had no idea. I mean, it's really good. I really like the first Pacific Rim, but I had no idea that was him. He also did the Hellboy movies and Blade 2.
I did know that he did Hellboy,
Yeah.
Blade 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not seen a lot of these movies. Yeah, I mean Pacific Rim is pretty freaking fantastic. I need to
Yeah.
kind of I have a positive memory of that. I'm not going to say that it maybe holds up. I don't really know. I like the idea of it. I kind of did want to see Nightmare Alley. I don't know anything about that one. The Hellboy movies were pretty decent.
Speaking of, you mentioned directors who have like stunning visuals and stuff. Um, I forget how you phrased it, but I've one movie that I forgot to log that Christy and I watched yesterday. It's called The Fall, 2006, and the director is Tarsem Singh. He just goes by Tarsem usually, Tarsem. It's got Lee Pace in it and a couple other folks, but it is so he's the same guy who directed The Cell, and so it's like those level of like visual stunning, amazing what going on here. That's like wow, but the movie is like it's a 5-star movie. It's so good.
Hmm.
Uh, it's on Mubi right now if you want to get like a 7-day trial or whatever. But it's been hard to find for a long time, and they've just recently released it on Mubi. But it's been on my list for a long time to watch because I just love the guy's visuals and just like Del Toro, fascinating stuff.
Is the movie is that the one? Is that where The Substance came out?
Yep,
All right, I already blew through my 7-day free trial because I literally only got it to watch that. I canceled it.
that's when you make a new Gmail account. Do it
Yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
condone any of that kind of hargle bargle here. We don't. We don't.
Hargle Bargle.
Yeah,
Wow, that's a good one.
We don't. Yeah, those. those types of shenanigans are not condoned by this podcast, though we would be lying if we said we didn't do it because we're human. But also allegedly.
Right.
Fully allegedly. And this is not an admission of guilt. This is innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Come at me, bro. Like,
did you know that Lee Pace is 6'5"?
Who is Lee Pace? What is this? What?
Look up Lee Pace. You'll go, oh, that guy.
Lee Pace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, Lee Pace.
He was the bad dude in the very first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Big man. Great actor.
Who did he play? What was his name? Ronan.
Mm-hmm. He also plays a main character in the TV show Foundation, which is a
show Foundation.
Yeah, it's like Apple TV Plus maybe, and I think it's the Isaac Asimov series. If I remember correctly.
Why am I not seeing it in his acting credits? Oh, because I'm on Letterboxd and it doesn't show TV series. That's why.
Right. Anyway, but
cool.
That's also very very visually cool. But yeah, cool. I'm glad you liked it.
I enjoyed this movie. I thought that it was, even though, like I said, taking the fact that I got a little confused out of the picture. Mm-hmm. I thought that this movie was, actually was pretty good. I rated it 3.5 because it is worth another watch. Cool. I probably wouldn't go get the popcorn bucket 4.0. Actually,
it'd be pretty cool with the popcorn bucket, probably.
Depending on what the popcorn bucket is, I might rate this a 4-star movie. Because I would,
based on the popcorn bucket.
Based on the popcorn bucket. Like, is that bad? Like, I don't know.
Ooh, I know. It's one of those color changing popcorn buckets where you're holding it, it turns red, but it's white otherwise.
I love
the
that.
heat.
I love that.
Makes it, yeah.
Because that kind of stuff is nostalgic for me because like, those cups were very in when I was a kid.
Do you ever have like those color changing shirts?
What?
Which seemed like a great idea until you realized that your pits were always going to be the different color.
If you sweat a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Or okay. No, I didn't know about any of this. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm old.
Yeah, no, I really did. This movie is complicated because it's not the best movie ever. I'm sticking with 3.5. That's a 3.5 movie. It's not.
Right.
I'm sticking with 3.5 because it's not the best movie ever, but it is. It's worth another watch. Is what it is. This movie is worth another watch. It does drag on a little bit. There is some mystery and some intrigue, but you have to like period pieces. You have to like that kind of stuff in order to get into this. And so, I understand the 70% critic thing, and I also understand the 50-some% audience score.
Sure. Yeah.
And but for me, I think that this movie is definitely pretty good, and it's definitely worth another watch. So
good, cool. Well, should we move on?
Move on.
Things for next week. I have a movie picked for you.
You have a movie picked for me already. Dang, dude. All right, I'm gonna figure this out for you. And
I've been going too easy on you, Zach.
You kind of technically have over the last couple of weeks. You have been technically going easy, and I appreciate it. I mean, you're a saint of a person for going easy on me, And I genuinely appreciate it. Ooh, that's the movie this week. I'm definitely going to make you watch that one. Okay, I got your movie. I got it. I was literally looking for a movie to replace in the spinner for Identity, like in that particular column. And as I was looking, I was like, "Oh, this is the movie." It jumped out. It spoke to me. This is the one I want you to watch.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to have you watch, drumroll please, not really, is called May. It's called May. M-A-Y. May. 2002. A socially awkward veterinary assistant with a lazy eye and obsession with perfection descends into depravity after developing a crush on a boy with perfect hands.
What? What? Who wrote that, bro?
I don't know.
Dude,
that's a summary.
So the socially awkward veterinarian assistant with a lazy eye, first time out. Those are crazy details to add. What is going on? Why is her lazy eye a plot point in this movie? That's crazy.
It's a plot point.
And obsession with perfection. Like, okay, an obsession with perfection. She falls in love with somebody who has perfect hands. Fine, I get it now. Okay. I got too caught up in the lazy eye and the perfect hands, and I was like, time out. I don't understand the connection. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those that I would put in the disturbing category.
Okie dokie. So,
and it's on.
Spoiler
Tubi.
alert: he gets his hands cut off. That's spoiler alert. I don't know that for sure, but I'm gonna guess it's probably. I got rubber betting man.
Tubi.
So, dude, okay, that jingle is awesome. I love that jingle.
It is kind of cool.
It's a cool jingle. All right. The movie I'm going to force you to watch is... It came out in the year of our Lord 2020. And it's a movie that has a 3.1 on Letterboxd. And...
Is it split?
No.
Okay.
No. It's a movie... You have part of the word correct. It's a movie called Spree.
Spree.
Yes.
Oh.
Spree.
Steve from what's it called? The Stranger Things.
The Stranger Things movie, yes. Or the Stranger Things TV show.
And he's like a Uber driver who kills people.
I mean, if you want to get technical with it, yeah. Spoiler alert. Jeez.
I mean, it's in the description, isn't it?
I mean, technically, yeah. It's in the trailer. But it's also slightly disappointing that you know so much about this movie before watching it. Yes. I want you to watch the movie called Spree.
Okay. What's his name?
Joe
Keery.
Keery. Yeah.
And he films it all, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Huh. Desperate for an online following, a rideshare driver has figured out a deadly plan to go viral, and he will stop at nothing to get his 5 minutes of fame. Doesn't sound too intelligent, dude. I mean,
if you're going to pick it apart, I can give you a worse movie. Would you like the worst movie? I can make your life. Your life real bad here.
I'll be good.
Are you sure?
I'll be good.
Okay, let's pick another movie here, Steve. Let's give you a real.
Too late. I gotta play the music at the end. No take backs.
No take backs. Okay. Well,
all right.
That's the show, folks.
Yay!
We made it through.
Yeah.
With our old-timey voices and our Hitler joke.
Whoa, no.
And, well, you're not going to cut it, so it doesn't matter. It's in there for life.
Oh, dang it. All right, well, enjoy the Wicked.
Yes, I will enjoy the Wickeds.
Yep. See you later.
All right, listeners, that's a wrap for another episode of Horrors Yet Unseen. Thanks for joining us.
And we'd love for you to become part of the conversation. Just drop us a voicemail at 1-216-202-5495 or email us at horrorsyetonunseen@gmail.com. And keep up with the latest by following us on Instagram. That handle is at Horrors Yet Unseen Pod. We'd also appreciate it if you like and review our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Your support means a lot to us. See you next time.